crack force of Macedonian troops has just made an audacious nighttime crossing of a tempestuous river. But now an army featuring one of the largest forces of war elephants ever fielded threatens to force them back into the water. Will the Macedonians overcome, or will they be ground into the dust? Tonight, a combined team from the Army and RAF, observed as always by our military experts, find out in Time Commanders. Welcome to the show that brings history's fiercest generals back to life, and ready to take them on tonight are 4 men of arms from the present day. Flight Lieutenant Ken Brockless is an expert in aircrew jungle survival.
All the guys are very up for this, they're very keen, they've read all the books, and they're hoping to put everything they've learned into practice.
Major Hugh Jenkins comes from an army family and has been serving for 20 years.
My top tactic for the battlefield would be to stay calm, make sure I know what's going on, and if there are any elephants in the field, hit them hard.
Major Kieran Potts has seen action and once jumped out of a plane in a kilt.
I think I'll cope all right. I don't think I'll run around with my hands in the air shouting for help.
Captain Gerwin Taff Michael is an army psychiatric nurse.
I'm usually okay under pressure. I might resort to a bit of black humour if things go really bad.
Together as a fighting unit, they are tonight's Time Commanders. Welcome, men. Obviously, there is a certain sort of extra pressure on you guys, given your backgrounds. How are you feeling? Confident?
Yeah. Sure.
Different forces, but have you ever worked together before?
We all have in different locations.
Hugh, your background, of course, Royal Corps Signal.
That's right, yeah.
So communication is your thing.
I am.
That could prove very useful. What do you think you'll be able to bring to this?
Just means we'll be able to speak to each other.
Yeah.
Make sure that everyone knows exactly what each person's doing.
Kieran, I'm just wondering, you do have the most spectacularly military moustache. So, well, I don't know, it might help.
It might.
I'd be intimidated. OK, gentlemen, well, good luck. It's time now to meet the Time Commander experts, and keeping a watchful eye over our military men in action tonight are historical analyst Arek Nussbacher, senior lecturer in war studies at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, and historical expert Mark Urban. Right, men, listen up, because this next bit's very important. You hardly need me to tell you that. It's the battle briefing, so this bit could make all the difference.
You are going to refight the Battle of Hydaspes. It's the year 326 BCE, and 2 great armies have come together in what is now Pakistan on the banks of the river Hydaspes.
Now, leading his army out onto the great floodplain there of one of those great Indian rivers is none other than King Alexander III of Macedonia. Now, that's Alexander the Great, and he's come to that point after a series of triumphs against the Persians, which have given him control of the whole of what was the Persian Empire.
Opposing Alexander is King Porus, the king of the Pauravas, which is one of the many warring peoples who were then living in and around the Punjab north of the Hindu Kush. The 2 armies have faced each other across the river Hydaspes for about 2 weeks at this point. The river itself dominates the area you're looking at. It's got marshy ground on either bank, but as you see off to either side, there are these well-drained, fertile plains that are ideal for the kind of combined infantry and cavalry work that Alexander is so good at.
Now, the river is a huge obstacle, but to remind you of the Pat Sandhurst formula, an obstacle isn't an obstacle unless it's defended. And of course, that's what the Indians under King Porus are trying to do. They're trying to defend the river line, but they don't know where Alexander's going to cross. In the end, he hits on a psychological stratagem, which is to cause a lot of noisy washing up of pots and pans in the main Macedonian camp, to establish a routine there, and then one night, while the usual routine is going on, to take most of his force and do a night march and find a point on the river that isn't defended. Now, team, you have got to be Alexander the Great, one of the towering figures in military history. No pressure there, then. And what Alexander's got is a pretty well-trained army, and the key shock arm for him are the so-called companion cavalry, the nobles who've come with him all the way through Persia, across Asia, and form not only an elite bodyguard, but a shock arm. And they've been filled out with sort of minor Persian princes and other people who've been brought into his army from the new empire.
Alexander has got a large force of heavy infantry, and they're armed with good long pikes. They fight in a very tight formation, and as long as that formation stays together, they are able to push anyone else around the field. And these heavy infantry are also supported by light infantry. And the light infantry includes archers and javelin throwers. And there are also horse archers, and all of these light forces are capable of forming the connective tissue between the heavy infantry and the cavalry.
The key thing for King Porus is his war elephants, and he's got hundreds of them. And the way they used these was to have them in a line with sufficient space between them for other troops to come in and out. They act almost as a series of mobile battlements, so they really are quite a difficult thing to defeat. And that really emphasises the point about not letting yourself get hemmed into the bridgehead and pushing out and dominating the battlefield.
So our combined forces team are walking in the illustrious sandals of Alexander the Great. How do you feel about that then, chaps?
There's a little bit of pressure.
Just a bit. Well, look, this is an important bit now because you do get to ask a couple of questions.
My question concerns the state of mind of the commander. Is Porus likely to be audacious, impatient, or indeed cautious?
Porus wants to have it both ways. He's going to keep his main force at the original Macedonian position, facing Craterus across the river, but he's going to detach a force that you're going to get to deal with that are going to try to delay you and canalize you to force you to fight his battle.
Next question.
Okay, my question's about the troops. What are they like? They've been sitting there waiting for some action for a long period of time. Are they itching? Are they going to be ready to get into the fight?
The enemy troops are, by and large, dragged into this by their general. Some of them are very, very good. You can expect the elephant drivers to be the best elephant drivers in India, but a lot of these guys have been dragged to the party by their petty kings up there in the mountain country.
OK, that's your lot. No more information. I'm afraid I must cut off that source there. Now we come to the subject of generals. And I've been looking forward to this bit particularly because obviously only 2 of you are going to be generals, 2 of you will be fighting as captains. So now is when the experts, based on your profiles, make that decision.
There's an armchair general in all of us, and it's a case of, are you a Napoleon or are you a General Melchett? I'm hoping I'm going to be a Napoleon.
OK, then. Ken, you will be a general.
Great.
Kieran, you walked in here a major, but now you are a captain.
Demotion.
Get a win. You will also be a general.
And you will be a captain.
Great.
If I had to give one word for our team, calm. We're trained, and hopefully that'll pay dividends in the game.
Can I just make it perfectly plain that I have nothing to do with that decision, OK, over who does what? It is them. So you do know that. Are you happy with that? How are you going to do? I mean, I must say, you come in with that moustache and you don't get made a general, personally. I'd think that's frustrating. And Hugh, because I didn't realise you worked at Sandhurst as well. So you've done all that expertise is in there.
Yeah.
And you can't use it, which is frustrating, really. Well, we'll see how you work together as a team. That's the main thing. As you guys will be aware, most big battles begin with a skirmish, a smaller scrap, and that's going to happen today. So, guys, what have we got?
Porus, the enemy commander, knows that a big chunk of the Macedonian force has crossed over. So he sends his boy, Porus's son, down 18 miles to the river crossing to either delay you if you're big or destroy you if you're small.
Historically, he went forward, it was a reconnaissance in force, too little to contain you, too much just to observe you. So you should be able, if you're aggressive enough, to see him off and dominate that area.
OK, Eric, Mark, thank you very much indeed. And that's it from our experts as far as you're concerned. The next time you see them, the battle will be over, whichever way it goes. No more information. So, you're on your own. What are you going to do?
And I think the first thing we're going to have to try and make them do is dance to our tune. How we do that, I'm not 100% sure yet.
OK, well, that's enough talking, enough looking at maps. It's time to go over the top. OK, captains, take up your posts. Good luck.
OK, master plan. We get those out to start harrying and fix them in position. So basically throw them out in one skirmish line as much as we can. Right, the pikes, can you move the pikes in a supporting position to their right flank of those, and then bring up the cavalry behind the horse archers?
Now, strategists still admire the way Alexander crossed the river the night before the battle, and he could deploy pontoon bridges whenever he needed them, and he had 100 boats for that exact purpose.
What are they doing? Why is it so quiet? Why is nobody shouting?
We don't need to shout yet.
Run about and panic.
He was sending some horse archers out to do a reconnaissance of the enemy.
So what are you two just sitting back?
There's no rush.
Oh, this is terrible. This is so organised.
Ken, the horse archers will be going forwards now to fix the enemy in position.
Hugh,
Right.
get your foot up.
OK.
The interesting thing about these guys is the way they talk to one another with economy of language, short, to the point, none of this faffing around, if that's all right with you, you get with other teams.
Kieran, can you move your heavy cavalry up behind mine, please?
Yeah, no worries.
Gerwin, what's actually happening? Talk me through it.
We've got the light cavalry out in front. They've spotted the enemy here, and now they've fixed them in place.
I think using the horse archers as a big screen, as they've done there, makes sound common sense. Not just for reconnaissance, but also to engage them with missile fire, soften up the enemy in front of them, while they conduct all that ballet at the back of deploying their troops in the kind of positions they want.
So the plan is now to send the pike onto this thin line of high ground, while the two heavy cavalry units come down here and hit him in the flank.
Just imagine how embarrassing it's going to be if you lose. I'm just, you know, with all that thinking.
They're handling their cavalry with a really light touch. Horus's son sent up a body of cavalry and they moved off. They didn't offer battle. They're just letting those slow-moving pike formations creak up.
Now, the phalanx is really important in this battle. A big bristling wall of these sarissa pikes, 21 feet long, with razor-sharp points, obviously very frightening to animals like elephants and horses.
Ken, my pikemen are moving quite slowly, so the left flank is moving faster than the right flank. My guys are heavier, OK, so I'm going to be moving more slowly.
Wait a second.
Okay, keep them going.
Yeah, right, keep them going now.
Kieran, I couldn't help but notice when I asked at the top, all of you, what you're going to do, you answered. As a captain. I'm wondering if we've got a potential issue here.
No, mission command. I'll do what Ken and Gerwin say.
Are you going to be comfortable in that role?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at those Indian chariots there.
They've lost all those numbers just from missile fire from the horse archers.
That's well done. Well done, the team.
I've got an opportunity here on the left. They've detached their cavalry.
Okay, send our heavy cavalry.
Yeah, Indian light cavalry, they'll mince them.
Send them in.
Right,
on
go
the
for
left.
it. Charge that lot into the head.
Now, these are the companion cavalry. They really are the elite of the Macedonian army, and Alexander himself leads them into battle.
They're all right, we've got a fight going on at the moment.
Okay.
Right, enemy light cavalry is routing. I'll hold in position. Support my cavalry on the left.
Will do.
Okay, what's happening on the right, Kieran?
My two bodies of spearmen are in in line. They're moving forward. My cavalry, I've moved over the left flank to support Hugh. What I've got in front of me is a body of cavalry and some archers.
Kieran, can you look at... There's infantry moving over. You can hit them in the flank.
Can we get those? Yep, roger up.
There's one thing we didn't tell them.
What didn't we tell them?
Well, I think the one thing we didn't tell them, perhaps we ought to, is how vulnerable the phalanx is on the flanks, but...
I'll figure it out.
They'll
figure it out.
They'll discover one way or the
That's
other.
Right.
Oh, look over there, that Indian cavalry, that's dangerous.
Have the team seen it?
Reform my cavalry. Just move them out of the way to a solid block.
It looks as though their phalanx has now been flanked, which means they are actually in trouble.
Kieran's flank now.
This is a mistake, and you can see the phalanx is going to get hit on the flank. As I was saying, that's the weak point. Is an upset. They've learned the hard way.
That's right. And they've managed to reform. And you see, look at Porus's cavalry. They've taken a lot of losses against that phalanx, but they've stopped it dead in its tracks. It was worth the price to Porus.
I think what happened there was they got over-enthusiastic on the left, and that carried the whole line forward, leaving the right hanging. And then obviously the Indians took advantage of that.
They have, at comparatively small cost, learned about the peril of leaving their flank hanging, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
They're rushing to tell Porus the bad news.
It's over.
They all quite slow, aren't they? There's phalanx.
Come on, captains, leave the battle.
Finished.
That was spectacular. You won, obviously. How did it feel from your side of things?
Good. We'd like to be able to control our own arms, cavalry, infantry.
You just want to be able to control everything. That's the issue there. What was fantastic was the communication. Just that level-headed, right, we'll do this, now we'll do that.
I don't think the team won that engagement at all. I think they lost control of the battle space, they left their flanks wide open, and the result was that they were delayed. They fell for Porus's trick of sending his son out to fight a delaying battle. They need to cover their flanks, they need to control their battle space, otherwise that big army with those big elephants is going to be able to do what it likes instead of what the team wants.
Men, you'll be more than aware of how important this stage is. Planning presumably is going to be everything. On an interesting note, Alexander's technique for bonding his army apparently centred around huge drinking competitions. I don't know if you had anything like that planned.
No, never.
No.
Probably inappropriate. But use this time wisely, obviously, so get planning, sort yourselves out ready for battle.
What we need to know is what we've actually physically got control of.
We can concentrate our effort and attention on where we should win the battle.
Overall, the battle plan is to move up the phalanxes.
The team are in a similar position to the skirmish. The river up there at the top is on their right, and each of the captains has got a mixed force of cavalry and infantry. The enemy deployment is slightly different. They've got their cavalry and chariots, their highly mobile forces, on their right, the bottom of that picture, with infantry in the centre and left, and in front of the infantry, this screen, this large number of war elephants.
OK, guys, that's your planning time up. Generals, what's your plan?
Right. Basically, we're going to use Alexander's army's strength, concentrate on the heavy cavalry on the left, and then supported by his elite foot companions and horse archers and light infantry on the right to entertain his best troops, his war elephants.
Do you have contingency plans for when it all goes spectacularly wrong?
Spectacularly wrong, we don't do.
This is it. It's May 326 BC. Alexander's mighty Macedonian forces are ready to clash with King Porus. Will our military men do justice to the legend of one of the greatest generals ever, or not? We'll find out. Let battle commence.
Good luck. Thank you.
redeploy as necessary now.
Doing now.
Ken, my pikes are now moving into their initial positions, just deploying for the initial phase. Once they've done that, I'll move them forwards.
Wait one, yeah. Just get them into position first.
Yeah.
Okay, they're moving together.
Phalanx is moving forward, archers going in front. I'll move my cavalry and a smaller few on the left.
It looks like the team is keeping their companion cavalry, their mobile striking force, in reserve. Will they be able to use them when they need them?
Kieran, you might need to slow your pikes down at some stage.
Okay.
It's taken us a while to get into it.
And what you can see here, if we look into what the enemy is doing, is that they're moving forward on the team's left. Now, if the enemy acts aggressively, they will get in the way of the redeployment that the team is trying to do to get their forces where they want them.
Right, we're going to need to move those out of the way.
Okay, my guys moving in formation now. Archers front, 4 phalanxes behind, General and his bodyguard on the right. At least they'll give me some flank protection. Hugh, give me a shout when you want the phalanxes starting to move on your right.
Okay, I'm just sorting out the cavalry into battle formation here. They've got themselves a bit mixed up. Okay, we're nearly there. The phalanxes are moving forwards. The horse archers are ready for being deployed forwards if you need them. My heavy cavalry are ready as well.
Okay.
Right, Ken, I can see a huge dust cloud on the right-hand side of the battle down towards the river.
They're the enemy elephants. The great thing for Porus about his elephants is that the Macedonian horses are afraid of the smell of them. So the phalanx is going to have to deal with them, not the cavalry.
Now, the Indians actually fed their horses with grain laced with alcohol to try and keep them from bolting in fear. Unfortunately for them, the horses turned out to be happy drunks rather than angry ones.
Do you know, this feels how I imagine a proper war room would actually feel. It's kind of suppressed, quiet, calm.
Towards me, can I deploy my horse?
There's not much panicking going on.
Yeah, we don't do panic.
Shame, really. I like.
Do you want
panic.
it?
Oh, well, I like panic.
I'll run around with
But
my
they're
hands in the
coming
air.
towards you now. They've got chariots backed up with cavalry and.
But they're coming to the ground of our choosing. They are reacting to us.
So you're not being snuck up on it. You're waiting, and you've provoked this.
We're moving forward. We're moving forward according to our plan. At the end of the day, we don't want to react to them. We've got to get them reacting to us. That's the plan, anyway.
That's confidence, that is. Good luck.
Those chariots are very mobile. If those chariots cross the team's front to where there is no cavalry and come in against the light infantry that the team has connecting their heavy infantry to the river, it could be very difficult for the team.
Yeah, I think one can say that they haven't learned the lesson about the vulnerability of their right flank from a skirmish. It is pretty open there.
Right, Hugh, general advance on your side now.
I'm going to hold my phalanxes to bring in line with you.
Bring them forwards and conform against those chariots.
They're being very calm down there.
They're very calm indeed.
I mean, they've got a very good formation going on down there, but it's taking forever to do it. And meanwhile, they're being advanced on. But they're claiming that they're provoking that and they're waiting for them to come to them.
Well, we'll find out
that.
afterwards whether that's the case.
You think this is a mistake?
They need to control this battle space.
Because if this is a mistake, it's a big one. So come on, it's early in the battle.
Oh yeah, it's very early. Let's see them under some serious pressure.
You want to come down on one side or the other?
Oh no, I think
No.
I think it would be quite wrong at this stage.
Look to your fronts.
Ken,
Chariots to your front.
Okay, Ken, I'm keeping my cavalry in support of Hugh at this stage. Okay.
The chariots are doing hit and run.
Bit of hit and run.
It's not fatal to the phalanx, but it's not good either.
Your phalanx then have seen off those chariots.
Yeah.
Can we have Kieran's cavalry to advance
They're moving up on the left now.
as fast as possible? Charge,
Okay.
yeah?
For the first time, I have a good feeling about the team. because basically they've succeeded in completing their redeployment. They haven't been too distracted by the Indian attack, and they're now moving forward in a very compact, mutually supporting way, so that if some body of enemy does find a flank or does in some way take them a bit by surprise, they've got supporting forces ready to step in and change the situation.
Kieran?
Yep, one of those units.
Can we have your companions to support Hugh going attacking on the left?
My cavalry are moving up in support of Hugh now.
Yeah, great.
Right, we've got the heavy cavalry engaging the chariots on the left. I think they're being driven off.
Yeah.
Here they come.
Oh, look at that. Look at
now,
that.
this is
coming in.
trouble. This is trouble.
Oh, look at that. There they go.
Yeah, this Indian counterattack, it's really caught the cavalry off balance.
Now the team is bringing up the main force of companion cavalry. If they can keep up the momentum, then they can take apart Porus's ability to fight this battle. Now this is classic Macedonian cavalry tactics. The leader is at the point of the wedge. The point of that wedge drives into the enemy cavalry. It shatters its cohesion, and then with the cavalry out of the way, you're free to go and whack the flanks of the infantry. But look there on the left, these guys are just standing still.
Yep, they've lost momentum.
So they need to keep moving. They need to go for the enemy infantry now.
Okay, guys, this is one advantage you do have on time, commanders, and that's a pause in the battle.
Just totally unhinged.
Hugh won't leave his post, look.
Hugh.
Just to make sure you're happy. Now, how do you feel it's going? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, the phalanxes, what we're hoping to do is keep them fixed on their left, our right, and the phalanxes appear to be doing that.
You see, that's the word of a humble captain. Now, what do the generals think?
I'm very happy with the way the companions are performing on the left. We've broken the main part of their cavalry, and that's exposed a huge gap, which we can then exploit even further. The light troops are in position to entertain the elephants as planned.
Are you confident that you're being aggressive enough? Because I was expecting to see straight in.
You can't do that. You've got to set up the conditions for a successful victory. We're doing that now. It's the finish.
That counts.
This over the next one will be a coup de grace.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's just all going to come together.
Just as Alexander starts the battle by breaking up the Indian cavalry by coming around on the Indian right flank, the team has started off that way as well. But can they get round the Indian army and destroy it while their infantry fix it in place? And what are those elephants going to do when they come in against those Macedonian phalanxes?
5 seconds and you're back in the thick of it, so be ready to pick up. You'll be back in battle. Here we go.
Just maintain a bit of nerve here.
Right, Kieran's cavalry's going through in the left flank now, Ken.
Yep.
Is that a fight going on in the middle there, or is that you manoeuvring around your own guys? Oh, it is, isn't it?
Now the team has sent light infantry against the elephants, but it's too late and they're not in close enough, and look, they're moving.
The elephants are now engaging. Look at that.
Here come the elephants.
This.
Oh, look at those elephants.
The elephants going forward.
So the team have not pinned the elephants in place at all. The team have not pinned the Indian army in place at all. And the elephants are going right into the team's right flank screen. All those light horses. And those horses are afraid of elephants. They smell the elephants coming and they're running for it. So the team's right flank screen is just dissolved completely.
And that's going to be a real problem because that's going to leave open their right flank.
Just like in the skirmish.
What do you think of them? Is that your first sight of the elephants?
They're pretty formidable, aren't they?
Yeah, you don't want to be... What are you going to do?
You just got to entertain them, really. Fire bow, retreat.
Horse archers engaging the elephants, Ken.
Okay, just keep pulling back.
Those elephants, those Indian elephants, are now in behind the team.
Dealing with some residual chariots on the left side.
It's just gone very suddenly, very bad for the team.
Yeah, and there are people running. Now listen, they're under pressure now for the first time.
Do they know?
Yeah, they do. They do, and they don't like it. There's a first loss of cool, I think.
I'm still not clear on your plan with these elephants, because you know what it looks like? I'd say you're running away.
We're winning the battle over here. We're just ignoring these elephants.
But you're running away. What are these doing?
Just keeping out of trouble. Yeah.
But they're running away. Battle that way, they're going that way.
The elephants are nothing.
This isn't good, really, for the team, because the enemy have not been cooperative. They haven't just laid back and let the team do what they want with them. And because those elephants have come forward and now put the team in trouble on their right, they've got some tidying up to do.
While our team of army officers are ignoring the elephant peril on their right, they're keen on pressing home their cavalry attack on the left. It's risky, but that's just what Alexander would have done.
Look at this, they're going to the rear of that Indian cavalry there.
Very sharp, very crisp. They're just struck right into there, and now they're charging into the elephants. Why are they doing this? Look at all the momentum charging into that.
Look at that on the left. They've got a counter charge there by their enemy, the Indian cavalry, coming in on the left.
They're going to smash them like that right into the elephants. And each of these elephants has got archers on them. You can see that hail of arrows that's greeting the Macedonian cavalry as they are slowed down by those big elephants. Ooh, that's got to hurt.
Look at this, they've come out the other side. I reckon half of that Macedonian cavalry is gone, but they're ploughing on regardless. Now this attack's gone in on the infantry, but their own infantry, their Macedonian infantry, is too far away. And the cavalry is just getting picked off.
They're on their own.
I think it's time to get them out of there.
Kieran?
Yep.
Light cavalry. I need you to go and engage the elephants on the right.
My cavalry.
Light cavalry on the right.
So are these the elephants coming back?
Yeah. The elephants coming back. I want these lights to engage them.
The elephants are coming.
My cavalry is busily engaged in the back of the enemy infantry at the moment.
You've got the elephants coming back towards you now, Kieran. They're coming from behind. Let's get you in. Here they come.
Oh dear. So the Indian elephants are coming back. They're coming back towards the team.
Oh, they've got the rear of a phalanx.
Oh my goodness.
They're going to hit the phalanx in the rear.
The team's entire right wing is about to get hammered by those elephants.
They're in serious trouble.
Pike's going to get hammered, yeah?
Oh, that's bad.
Right. To your rear, mate.
That's a real mess. The elephants have just torn into your phalanx there.
I've got elephants mashing the phalanx.
Really nasty.
What are these doing?
Hugh, get your horse archers back. Let's get the companion cavalry in there now, Hugh.
No, there's hardly any left. They're companioning this.
The one thing they had to take away from that skirmish was don't leave the flanks of your phalanx open. And that's the one thing they have not learned.
Okay, I'm going to call a pause there. You have a brief pause. Captains, come back.
Battle pause. Well, they certainly need that.
Okay, listen in, lads. Look,
Where did those elephants come from?
Okay, the elephants came down here, and you had them with light troops.
These are the elephants you weren't bothered about.
And that was fine. They were coming down here, and we were just backing off. That was fine. They then turned around and came back up here. Nobody reacted. I was shouting instructions to get these light troops to come back up.
You couldn't. They were fixed. They were fixed. You couldn't get them back up.
Yeah.
What's happened to the companions?
They have not performed as best as we expected. Okay. I'm trying to rally them there and bring them back in.
And who's that?
That's companion cavalry.
That's all that's left of it.
Yeah. His cavalry should have destroyed the back line there. They didn't.
No. Okay.
Right. A whole plan hinged upon that.
Yeah.
So the elephants now have had free run.
You've got to do something. You've got to do it quick, and that's a lot of elephants.
My infantry have disappeared now. I have no phalanxes left.
These chaps, who are they? Do we know?
Archers and...
Archers
He's trying to get them
and
back in.
lights.
Right, we were winning that, we've now lost it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Look at the way these elephants have moved and left a trail of destruction. And look at the way they're moving right into this phalanx. You see the spear points are up as the phalanx tries to change direction, because you can't change direction with your spear down, they'd all get tangled. Everybody's got to move his spear up to the vertical, and then turn around to face the threat, and then drop the spear point back down. And these elephants are already in amongst them with those points vertical. Much of this phalanx is not going to get those spear points down before the elephants take that formation apart.
Okay, we need to get the pike to face the elephants in a last stand in the centre.
Which is what they're just doing.
We need to get the cavalry in to assist them from behind, and we need to get the lights up to engage and entertain these elephants in the rear.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll get
You've got 10 seconds, and you'll be back in the thick of it.
Right,
Good luck.
We got hold of where those cavalry
You're going to need it.
The ones that went walkabout. We've got to get them back into the fray. Where are they?
And there they go.
Let's see if they can pull us out of the soup here.
My phalanxes are now
Right,
fighting the elephants.
Ken, my
There's a good
cavalry are
chance
coming up from the rear again.
Okay, we need to get the generals in as well to support the infantry.
I've got the cavalry coming up from the rear, Ken.
Okay, we've got the cavalry's coming back now.
And this lot as soon as possible.
Right to rear, which we're about facing.
Okay, let's get them in then.
Where the cavalry and walk back to the front?
Well, the troops are really all over the place now, and the communication between the generals and captains seems to have broken down a bit as well.
Whatever they've got, any target, that lot.
Right, our phalanxes are being engaged by their infantry. I think we stand a reasonable chance.
It's not right here.
Can they win from here?
Well, I never say never, but look.
They're in deep trouble. If you look at the strength of the phalanxes, 3 of the 4 of them are down to almost nothing.
Those elephants are devastating.
You know, but why are the elephants devastating? Because the team lost track of them. The team didn't look after their flanks. A whole herd of elephants ran by them, and they ignored it.
But they drew the elephants away. They drew them off the battlefield with those foot archers running away.
Yes. And
they ran back.
They assumed that the elephants had suddenly
And
disappeared.
those same elephants ran back behind, well, I mean, ranks of phalanx, just a complete mess.
That's right. They lost track of those elephants, and once those elephants came
They
back,
didn't really draw them away in a sense. The archers will always run away from formed troops or big things like elephants. So when the elephants turn around, of course, they can move back much faster than the archers. And so then the rear was open.
So much of a chance?
I would say
no, because look, the Indian army is now, all of those low-grade Indian infantry are coming in to do what they do best, which is to have a mob scene where they all come in and hack apart whatever's left. No, I think that the team can't pull it out at this point.
Oh well.
Elephants.
In there as well.
Okay.
The horse archers busy on the left, yeah?
Yeah.
Are these just broken men here?
Yes.
Okay.
Where a phalanx still has its cohesion, the infantry is able to pen in or even drive back, kill the elephants.
But I think when the elephant gets in on the side there, that's danger.
Where's that captain with the chariots? Yes.
Where's your horse archers?
They got driven off by the elephants.
Are they broken?
I think they are. They might be able to reform them.
Try and rally them, yeah?
These are coming back now.
Right. Try and take on the elephants again. Right, they're going to re-engage the elephants. We brought them
It's
back.
very quiet around this table.
Yeah.
Right. Let's bring it back up to support that other attack. Right, where are those guys with the
Ken.
chariots gone? The other.
The cavalry has done some damage on the left,
Back at the table. Okay.
but what I've got, they're winded, they're useless.
Right, bring them
I'll
back
continue to fire
round
with the phalanxes.
behind.
They've shot the
horse
bolts.
archers.
They haven't shot the bolt, they've been
dead.
useful. They've taken out enemy unit on the left flank.
Okay.
Okay, they've done some damage.
Okay, the elephants
but
are on the move
it's
again.
taken
Again.
my troops.
The elephants are moving into the centre again.
The elephants just pummeled their own troops. Just wiped
So the
out
elephants
most of
have
them.
gone
Bring them
berserk,
back.
is that what?
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
mad elephants. Great.
Right.
Of course, the legend is, although it's never been proved, that the only way to stop the elephants when they run amok is to take a chisel and drive it into the elephant's brain. We're not sure they ever actually had to do that.
No. Take a good steady hand with a chisel
It would take
on
a
a
good-
galloping elephant
That's right.
with adrenaline pumping.
Under fire.
Ken, We need to regroup.
We get that lot into
in this area here.
Make the elephants go mad again.
Oh, that's not a good sign, guys.
Come on, we need to regroup.
Yeah.
We need to regroup.
Yeah, I know. We're trying to keep the elephants on the move. We've got them moving at the moment.
Okay.
Keep them busy. Keep them busy.
That's it.
Okay, let's try and rally what we can.
Yeah, go for it.
What are we looking at now, Kieran?
It's not good.
Keep engaged.
Oh, guys are folding.
They're folding.
They're folding.
Keep
We're
engaged.
losing the right.
Keep your nerve.
The right's going.
This lot just turn them to face that
You are
way.
defeated.
Team, I'm sorry. Captain's come back up to the table. I don't know. No, you've got to come back to the table. You can't hide down there. Guys. Men. Oh dear. What do you feel was the point at which it turned? Because there is always a point.
For me, it was when we had the pause.
Yeah.
You lost it.
Yeah. We then thought, OK, we're going to have this huge exploitation with the heavy cavalry.
Yeah.
We then just decided to evaporate.
Didn't perform as well. as we expected.
You said that a couple of times about your cavalry, just weren't.
Just didn't perform as well as we've been.
And I
led to believe.
suspect the elephants performed a lot better than you expected. But it's when you drew them down here.
I thought it was great. The elephants now out the frame.
They came back.
Yeah.
We thought they were off.
Behind people.
How did they manage to do this?
Well, they weren't running away, were they? I mean, they were pursuing archers.
Yeah. So
They were going to run away, and then they just went back after something else.
The idea was to just play with them.
Shoot them in the back.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what our experts make of your efforts.
Oh dear, oh dear. I think you had a great plan. You were communicating very well together. I was up there saying, oh, isn't this great, military men? They know what they're doing, economy. They talk to one another in this concentrated way. But there was one big problem, which is that you relied upon the enemy to just sit there and let you do what you wanted to do, get your ducks in a row and fight the battle according to your own plans. And as you all know, just to get the old Staff College mantra going, the independent will of the enemy. You can't expect them just to lay back and let you do that.
Well, whilst we all squirm, how should it have gone? How could it work from there? All right.
Yep. OK. We've got your Indian army here, elephants at the front. Cavalry pretty much on this flank, as it was in this game.
This battle works out in two phases. The first thing that happens is Alexander's cavalry come around while the Indian cavalry are messing about here, and they drive them back across the whole rear of the Indian army. And you guys managed to achieve something very much like that. You did mass your cavalry on the left flank, you did use them aggressively, and that was really good. That's just how Alexander starts it off. But what does he use to fix those elephants in place? He takes his pikes, he takes the phalanxes, and he mashes them up against the elephants, right up against them, so that the elephants physically will not move, because if they do, they'll move onto sharp, pointy objects. And that enables Alexander to use infantry, to use light forces, to use cavalry to surround the Indian army. And don't forget, Alexander has got another piece of army here on the other side of the river waiting to help out. So he's got a great big encirclement going around the Indian army with infantry on the inside and cavalry on the outside. And then all he's got to do is draw it in around the Indian army and cut them to pieces.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a great fight. I'm afraid you may have tarnished the reputation of mighty Alexander, but there we go. Thank you very much for being our team. Thank you, Eric and Mark. You've been watching Time Commanders.
After the Battle of the Hydaspes, King Porus submitted and was confirmed by Alexander as the ruler of an enlarged but subject kingdom. Alexander had now conquered more of the planet than any other individual in the ancient world.